Today we have our fastest mead recipe ever that took a whole year to get here. Okay, so yeah, this is our fastest mead. It was that video that was like 7 minutes or something, 8 minutes long, and I made a mead. Very, very simple mead, and it's been sitting for a year. It is 13.5%. We don't have a final gravity reading on this one, but what do we got to do with it?
We got to get that into here.
And what do we need for that?
The pour can.
First, clarity. It's a 12.
Oh yeah, it's beautifully clear.
Crystal clear. Crystal clear.
Only thing is there was some sediment in the bottom, and because of my new attempt of the aggressive pour, so that way I don't spill it all over the place, I did disturb that a bit, but it cleared beautifully.
Oh yeah. Now the reason there's sediment in the bottle is because we probably rushed this one to bottle. We have, since this one came out, started leaving things months after you see us do a tasting on it. Leave it a month or two, 3 months sometimes, and then we bottle. That way we don't get as much sediment in the bottom of the bottles. It does happen anyway over time, but not nearly as much.
Smells like a mead.
Oh, it certainly does. I don't remember if this was sweet or dry. Definitely has the typical traditional mead smell. I don't think there was much in this as far as extra ingredients.
Like honey and alcohol.
Yeah, alcoholic honey. I mean, it's 13.5%. This is no weak mead. This is practically a sack mead by some definitions. It smells nice though. I get floral.
Yeah.
A little bit of a citrus hit.
Yeah, it's like almost perfumey, if that makes sense.
I'm actually smelling pineapple.
I'm not smelling pineapple.
Pineapple. Yeah, perfumey, yeah.
Because it has a pretty potent aroma. It's not just
oh yeah, this is no
wussy.
slouch.
Yeah.
This is good. Okay, I'm going in.
All right.
Pretty standard traditional mead. It's not dry, but it's not sweet. It's kind of like a 1.008 to 1.012. I'd have to go back to the original video and check, but it's probably somewhere in that range. Might even be a little bit lower, like 1.004 or something. Right. Just a touch of sweetness there, enough to bring the honey character through.
I feel like this one probably got raisins added to it.
From the color, I'm going to say probably not.
But it has a bit of, maybe it's just the aging, I don't know what it is, but it has a bit of the almost smoky sensation.
Oh, like the dried fruit thing?
Right. That's what I was thinking, raisins.
A little bit.
I agree with you. The color is not representative of having
If I did, I might have used a very small amount.
Okay.
Because a straight mead would probably be even lighter in color than this. So, it's possible. Again, we don't check because that way we have no biases. And we have to try to figure it out, put it together afterwards. It's much more fun and probably more entertaining for you guys to see us struggle and go, ha, you were wrong, than to actually have us know. Because here's the thing, if we knew everything about this and knew what we thought of it, knew what we scored it, and knew everything, and then we go to taste it again, those things are going to influence us. Right. We might be like, oh yeah, well this was good last time, so it's good this time. Right.
Like if we knew all the secret ingredients, all the little additives, then we couldn't help but find them. Where here, we don't know what was in it, so we're just trying to express what we're actually experiencing. Pure, raw, unadulterated, nothing interfering with that. Just what the here and now, what are we getting from this beverage?
This is going to sound almost offensive to some people, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you've ever had Chaucer's mead, this tastes like a drier version of that.
It's a drier Chaucer's, yeah.
It's not sickly sweet like Chaucer's can be sometimes. It's just got enough sweetness to bring the honey out, but it's got, I think it's more viscous. Okay, it sort of tastes like Chaucer's. It might be because of a similarity in honey style.
Yeah, could be.
I think they're probably just using a wildflower, which I don't know what we used for this, but... So I didn't mean that to be offensive. If somebody doesn't like Chaucer's, don't think that you won't like this, because that's not necessarily true. Yeah, that made a lot of sense, right?
But I'm getting more than honey, and I guess that's what I was trying to say, that I was guessing it was raisins.
There's a good acidity and brightness level to it.
Yeah, but not a distinctive citrus flavor. So I think you probably tossed in a peel from either a lemon or an orange in there.
Seems like lemon more than mandarin.
Right.
Or orange.
Because it's adding to the brightness. Now, granted, honey is acidic in nature anyway, so it has help just on its own.
One thing I'd like to point out is that the aroma and the taste match.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen. You want it to happen. It's ideal. When it doesn't, it's usually because something is slightly askew somewhere. But in this case, they actually match. It came out pretty well. For a very basic mead, very traditional mead, this is probably about what to expect. It came out nice. It's nice and clear. You could offer this to someone and they're not going to go, ooh. And if they do that, when you offer them your homebrew, don't give them any more. But you can offer this with some confidence saying, yeah, look at this thing I made. And people will be like, oh, wow, that came out looking so, it looks nice. And that's an important aesthetic, especially in the beginning. It builds confidence when you feel that way and your friends are all like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Then they taste it. If it tastes good to them, that's even more, I like the fact that this isn't overly sweet, yet it still has a really good flavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got a strong, the mouthfeel on it is actually really nice. It's not overly tannic, like it's mild tannin, if at all. Like there's just a little bit of tannic effect, but it's got such a strong acidity and viscosity. It's really thick.
Right. I'm also keeping some of those sensations in my mouth. Like it isn't just go wash away and then it's gone. You're still getting some of the alcohol effects, the tannin and the acidity stays with you for a while, and it's nice.
On the exhale, I'm getting like that slight acidic honey thing. It's not bitter. I used to say it was bitter, and it's not actually a bitter flavor. Bitter is very different. It's acidic honey. Easiest way to describe it. This is nice. I mean, it's not the greatest mead I've ever had, but it's nice.
Right. And I think part of that is that we've explored a vast array of the ways mead can go. And so Brian knows what his favorite styles of meads are, and I know what my favorite styles of mead are. And this is just mead. Just mead. Which is fine.
Just check.
It's just we like ours to be extra. Like us.
I'm not extra at all. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to tell you about the City Steading VIP Club. It's a super friendly bunch of brewers who get together and constantly help each other and share information. A large part of it is our private Facebook group where you can ask questions and get help. We also have Zoom meetings monthly for most tiers of membership. These hangouts are a great way to ask questions or just hang out with us and the other members. In addition, the higher tiers get their names right in our videos. So, consider becoming a VIP. Now, back to the video.
Sorry, I just hit the microphone.
I'm completely non-extra.
I'm sorry for that microphone.
I'm extra less.
All right. So we need to think of numbers now. I think I want to give this a nice number because I feel like it was successful in what it's supposed to be, but it's not my thing.
I'm looking at it from if someone handed me this glass and said, put a number on this using your scoring system, not knowing anything about it, that's where you got to go. Because once you start putting bias into it, not your own personal taste bias, but bias of I know what this is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
don't go from that.
Right.
Go from someone hands you this and says, "What do you think?"
I think it tastes like mead.
Yeah. And the thing is, straight up traditional mead can sometimes be, as Derica sort of said it, less than inspiring sometimes. There's things I would do to this to make it better.
Brian would spice it. I would fruit it.
I would probably sweeten it a little.
Yeah.
I want to bring down some of those acids. It's a little strong on the acid.
It's a little punchy.
Yeah.
Punchy's the word I like
I mean,
to
it's
use.
not. See, you got to understand something too. A few people in the comments have really latched onto when we say anything slightly negative. So we try to be really careful. And you know what? I'm done with being really, really careful about how I say things. Instead, let me just say it this way. If I say it's slightly acidic, I mean slightly. I don't mean it's overly acidic and it needs... I just mean it's slightly acidic. If I say it's way over acidic, I mean it's way over acidic. I'm pretty expressive with my words. A little means a little. Like if I say, Derica, move that bottle a little, she's going to move it this much. I didn't mean a little. That's a little.
That's a little.
That's a little. A tiny bit is like that. Okay? So I'm pretty expressive. Derica's that way too. When we say a little, we mean a little. When we say a lot, we mean a lot. So don't get caught up in you said it was acidic.
And we can appreciate that you guys don't know us personally, and we try to put as much of our personalities into these videos so you can understand us. That way you can understand what we're trying to say to you. And that's a really important thing that you kind of have to do as an educator, is that you have to get the people you're trying to instill knowledge into to understand you as a person. Because we all come from different places, we all have different perspectives, we all have different experiences. Yeah. And we have to find some middle ground so that way we can transfer information as smoothly as possible.
We also like to think that every video a person watches could be their first one. So we try to keep it as simple as possible. And that's why we repeat ourselves a lot. There's a lot of repetition, a lot of repetition. You know, we repeat ourselves a lot. And in doing that, you know, it makes things stick. But if this is your first time here, know that just because I said it's a little acidic doesn't mean I hated it. It just means it's a little acidic. It could use a little bit of tannin. I think oaked, this would be much better.
Yeah, I think oaked might actually neutralize some of the acidity as well.
It'll take some of the acidity away, it'll add some tannins, and then it needs some sweetness.
Yeah.
Those three things, well, those two things done to it would make those three things fall better into balance for me.
Right.
That wasn't the intent of this video.
No.
That's why I'm not being too hard on it, but at the same token, I have to judge it that way when I put a score on it. It's not carbonated, what the heck? Anyway, our scoring system for the 1 year tastings. This is the real tasting of this, okay? A lot of people seem to think that we taste things at 5 weeks and that's the tasting. Not really. That's more like a preliminary just to get it where you think it should be. 1 year later, now it's all an equal playing field for everything, okay? So this is the real tasting. Our scoring system goes 1 through 11. 1 is basically crap. You're probably going to dump it out. We'll tell you about it, but it's crap. 11 is reserved for better than 10, okay? Those are pretty rare. They're getting more rare. We're a little harder on our scoring than we used to be. To me, a 5 is, I didn't think to drink that one, but I saw it on the shelf and went, yeah, I'll have that. A 10 is, I want to drink something, I want this one. And I go and I find that bottle. That's the difference between a 5 and a 10. Both are drinkable, both are fine, but one you thought of. It's the one that was in your head. Okay, so that's the difference there. Anyway, now I have to finish this and get a number, don't I? All right, I got a number. 1, 2, 3, 6.5. I figured you were going to go lower than me. Do you want to go first? You're low.
I think that's the rule. The low.
Yeah, low person goes first.
It's Mead, and I'm getting more uppity with my beverage choices lately.
Well, also, I appreciate a straight mead more than you do.
Yes.
And that shows in the score right there. But this isn't even my wheelhouse of straight mead. Right. I'd like it to be, okay, see, that's the thing. Define straight mead. You know what I mean? Can it have oak in it? I don't know. Can it have anything in it? Straight, traditional, pure, all these things. This is why we always say, make it how you like it. This video that we did this in was kind of meant to be a meme, okay? It's just the fastest mead video.
Right.
But it's a decent recipe.
And it wasn't how to get from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time. It was our editing process, so that way we get the information to you as fast as possible.
But it was also to teach a very basic mead for a very basic
Do this step,
beginner.
Do this step, do this step, do this
Was this
step.
the one that I even did like in the jug? I don't remember. Did I do it like in a water jug or something? I don't even remember. I remember nothing. So that's why she's at a 5. It's drinkable, but not quite.
And I was going to do a 6, and then when Brian was explaining the scoring again, it said, oh yeah, I'll drink that, but not think about it. That would be my scenario for this one. I would be like, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, I want the fastest mead.
Right.
It would be like, I want something to drink. What do we have? Oh yeah. Okay, I'll drink that one.
I was between 6 and 6.5. I ended up on 6.5 simply because that last sip actually gave me a really nice floral honey note. And I was like, oh, but I was at 6 until that. Simply because, similar to what Derica said, except that I tend to favor this kind of thing more than she does. If this had a little bit of spice in it, it might go higher. If this was very floral, like a lot more floral, it'd be lower because I don't go for that. There's just enough floral in it that you know it's honey.
Yeah.
There's enough citrus in it to cut through that floral for me. So that helped tremendously.
Yeah. I could pour that in a glass and toss some Cointreau in there and be good to go.
But overall, to me, in my head, this registers almost like white wine.
Yeah. Yeah. I could totally drink this with
Which is why I couldn't go past a 6.5.
with a brew, with a meal. What am I saying?
It's a semi-dry white wine. If it was any drier, there's no way I would really appreciate it at all. I just don't like white wine, like dry white wines. But yeah, I mean, overall, not bad. It's pretty average. If you've never made mead before, never had mead before, it's a nice introduction because it'll get you there. It'll tell you, like, this is what mead should taste like. And then you have the bajillion variations of
Taste
what mead
rainbow.
can be. Yeah, quite literally. Anyway, so that's all we got on this one. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.